Build your house around my body, because I will not adapt to your house. I will not give up who I am to be adopted by you. Build your house around my body to protect me from the haunted house we all live in, to allow me to be myself without having to pay a price so high that I end up disappearing. Build your house around my body, because what else is precious enough to house me? And what else could sustain a home other than my love? The book reminded me of another house as well. When a horrific video from Manipur went viral, I found myself wondering if our nation is built upon dead bodies, a house made of naked, decaying corpses. This novel imagines Vietnam as a haunted house, too. Women everywhere are trapped in haunted houses, in Kafkaesque castles, constantly on trial just for being themselves. This hits even harder for people living at the intersection of multiple identities. Violet Kupersmith's debut shows us the bricks that make this house. She reconstructs it, ghost by ghost, using Vietnamese history, folklore, and the lingering shadow of colonialism. She weaves a tapestry combining narratives from different times, like a house with many rooms, each echoing with different screams and secrets. And who is this architect? Violet Kupersmith, a writer who lived and taught in the Mekong Delta as a Fulbright scholar. Her connection to Vietnam jumps off every page. This novel, which made the Women's Prize for Fiction longlist, isn't a straight-line story. It's fragmented, disorienting at times, intentionally so mirroring the disjointed nature of trauma and memory. It jumps between timelines and characters, forcing us to become active participants, piecing together the shattered fragments of the past. What are these fragments about? Identity and the aching search for belonging. We see this in Winnie, a Vietnamese American adrift, feeling she belongs nowhere. She goes to Saigon looking for herself and finds this haunted nation that mirrors her own internal displacement. The haunting isn't just external. It's colonialism seeping into the very psyche of Vietnam. The crumbling mansions and abandoned rubber plantations aren't just settings, they're symptoms of this haunting past. The French influence is palpable, lingering in both obvious and subtle ways. Kupersmith's brilliant postmodern take on Gothic horror explores these wounds, these ghosts of colonialism. The house is haunted because history has made it so. The past isn't dead. It's a living, breathing presence that refuses to be exorcised. At the heart of this haunting are the women. Bin, Winnie, and others navigate a world where female agency is challenged, where bodies are objectified, seen as empty vessels. Kupersmith shows us this harsh reality with unflinching clarity. Women trapped and controlled, yet fighting back with a quiet, persistent defiance. We meet Winnie, lost and apathetic, seeking connection to a heritage that seems just beyond her grasp. Her journey is unsettling, transformative. Then there's Bin, a force of nature, resilient and defiant against a society determined to define her. Around them are Long and Tan, brothers exploring different facets of masculinity and loss. The fortune teller who connects all the timelines, the past personified, walking among the living, and there is God selling fake lottery tickets. Kupersmith's fragmented, dreamlike narrative jumps between decades, the 1930s, 70s, 80s, 2000s, and present day, from French colonists to haunted women, missing girls, and ghost hunters. This disjointed approach is deliberate and masterful. It mirrors how trauma fractures time and memory, creating echoes that reverberate across generations. It builds suspense and demands that you piece together connections that span decades. And Kupersmith's writing, it's mesmerizing, rich in sensory detail that brings Vietnam and its folklore vividly to life, blending the mundane with the magical. Her lyrical, poetic prose is grounded in gritty reality with a dark, subversive humor cutting through the heaviness. Even the privileged Western characters are portrayed with a sympathetic eye that reveals uncomfortable truths. And the snakes, they're everywhere. Slithering through abandoned plantations, they're symbols of both danger and transformation, deeply rooted in Vietnamese folklore. They amplify the constant sense of unease, reminding us that change is inevitable, and transformation can have teeth, can sting. This book defies easy categorization. It's a ghost story, mystery, historical novel, and exploration of identity, all woven into one mesmerizing experience. If you have not picked it up yet, let me tell you that you won't regret entering this haunted house.